In this video, we're going to kind of take a look at the Tic-Tac-Toe program. Hopefully this will kind of jumpstart you in getting your assignment done. That's due the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So let's look at it first. This is just the main, where I'm going to call my info, new info, and send tic-tac-toe game. Now here I did create an info class, but if you want, you can use a DLL, see if that works for you. But as always, I just did that. Then I have a class called game, and that's where most of the UI instructions go. It's in game. Now, if you think about it, what are we doing in object-oriented programming? We're creating objects to solve a problem. So in this program, what are our objects? Well, we have players and we have the board, and they're going to play a game on the board. So what we should have is a class player and a class board. For class player, I need to create two player objects, one for X and one for O. The board will just be the board. It'll display what's out there, and it will determine if there's a winner or if the board's full. What can a player do? Well, it keeps tracks of the moves it made, and it can make moves. So if you look in the folder, I've already given you what the board should look like. Here's the board class, and I've already put it in the folder that this video resides in. So here are all the winning combinations for tic-tac-toe. And notice I put it in a two-dimensional array. And again, I'm going to determine who won. And player, it's either, what I'm passing is either player X or player O. I'm passing their object. So right now I'm saying, okay, there is no winner, but I'm going to check for a winner. And what it's going to do, it's going to go through this array and see. As you recall, I said I used, let me just go over here. I used bit arrays, which just said true if the position was used by that player, false if it wasn't. And so it's going to go with the player, and it's going to look at 0, 1, and 2. That's what this does. And if they're all set to true, then this becomes true. If either of them are set to false, notice these are all ands. Then with just one of them being false, this isn't true, and so the player hasn't won. And then I'll return either true or false as determined by this if statement. And I'll go through the whole array here. Notice I go through the whole get length. And what I'd like you to do is just kind of walk through this yourself to understand how this works. Because what I'm doing is actually taking the winning combinations, which is right here. And so I'm saying for player piece and winning combination, this would be 0, 0 to begin with. Well, this is 0, 0. So I'm saying player piece 0 and player piece, and whatever this comes out to be, 0, 1. So this is 0, 1. So this is player piece 0, player piece 1, and this is 0, 2. Well, this points out to 0, 1, and 2. So I'm looking at player piece 0, player piece 1, and player piece 2. Is that a winning combination? Next time through, this will be player piece 3, player piece 4, player piece 5. Then player piece 6, 7, 8. Then 0, 3, 6. I'm looking at all the winning combinations against this bit array and seeing if they're set to true. So that's what board does. And then we also have is full. Basically, just to determine if it's full, do I have a count greater than 8? I only have from 0 to 8 to use as an array, and if all of a sudden I'm at 8 or greater, I can't do anymore. So it's full, and we have to say, okay, tie is true. So right there, tie is true, otherwise tie is false. Every time I make a move, I come through here and increment the count and see if it's good. So let's go to the game thing, the game class, I should say. And up here I have a player X, player Y, and game board, and I've started creating the objects. I haven't completed it. I'm just saying there's going to be a player X, and he's going to be a class player. There's going to be a player Y, he's going to be a class player. There's going to be a game board, and it's going to be of class game. And here I keep all the game arrays. This is basically where the movements have been made. So when I display it, I can display it with the X and the O's there. And then I just have game player. Who is it? Is it X or is it, I say Y, it should be O. Is it X or is it O? I'm too much of an engineer and I remember the X, Y coordinates. So here's play again, which is always the same. Display the welcome, clear it, play the game. Would you like to play again? Check to see if a Y came in, and if they say Y, we just keep going through this till we get anything but a Y. Here's our welcome. And then we go into play. I don't want to go too much into play. But basically what we do, player X, player Y, I complete making the players. So I create object player X. I create object player Y. And I create a game board object. And then I go through here and I print out and display the game board. And then we go into the game. And so this is where you're going to do most of your stuff. Here's displaying the game board, grid, and we determine who's playing. So that is kind of get you started. Let's just look at player again. Bit arrays. What is a bit array? Bit arrays basically are just trues and false. Right now, when we come into player and we create it, I set all the bit arrays for that player to false. So when I created the player X, their bit array from 0 to 8 is all set to false. When I create player O, their bit array is set within the constructor to all false. And as they make a move, like say they move into location 3, which is 0, 1, 2 in the array, I would set that to true. And then again, after I set that to true, I go through the board class. Okay, did somebody win? Or did we fill up the board? So hopefully that gives you kind of a beginning to start the program. Hope we can stay along your way. Don't forget, do it exactly as it says in the assignment, because in the next step we're going to remove one of the players and make them a computer. So you should have and the next one you'll have not only player, board, game, you also have computer as an object. And so just to show you again, here's how we play it. Player X chooses a location, and it's at Y, it should be O. Chooses a location, and I'll put them at 2. Player X will go to 4. Player Y will go to 5. And player X will go to 8. And there, player X is 1. Would you like to play again? Yes or no? And we can play again if we wish. So hopefully that helps you. Don't forget, use the discussion board if you have any questions, or you can also send me a message on Blackboard, and I try to get to them as soon as possible, or email me. Sometimes I'm not always looking at Blackboard. If it's a real emergency, you can email me, and I will look at it and answer you on that. Again, any questions, don't forget to do that. Good luck on this assignment. We'll see you Tuesday. What is it? The 20th in class. So have a good week.